Good evening everybody, Calm Biker here. Hopefully coming at you loud and clear from just near Beverley. I say hopefully coming at you loud and clear because I'm out testing. I'm a bit concerned that my camera might be broken, or more likely my microphone, or perhaps the media mod. Unlikely to be the camera itself, I think, I hope. That'd be an expensive thing to go wrong. The reason I need to check it, I went out a few weeks ago for a ride, and it was when Lone Wally, Chris, was up here. Lone Wally UK is his channel, not just a random insult. And funnily enough, we went out. It was Chris, myself, Graham and Dave, and Graham was having camera problems. I couldn't do the full day because I was on call, so I couldn't go more than half an hour away. And apparently Dave had camera problems too, so... Oh, sorry, no, Chris had camera problems too. I think Dave maybe wasn't recording. So basically nobody, it seemed, had footage of it except me. But I hadn't done the full ride. And I knew that on my way there I'd actually gone with the camera pointing too low. But I had the camera pointing too low because of a mishap that happened a few days before. Anyway, I went back and I'd seen them at the start of their ride, and I went back to meet them once they were within range, and I recorded from there. And obviously the hope was, with everybody else's footage being unusable, that mine would be usable. But I guess somebody had been going around kicking fate in the nads, because mine was unusable too. Mine had, I was going to say no sound, it had lots of sound, just the wrong sound. It had sound that oh, what's this thing coming? This looks interesting. Is it a Lotus 7 or something? Hey, Caterham 7. Caterham 7, Lotus 7, basically the same thing, aren't they? Great fun little cars. Great funny one of them around Silverstone. Anyway, I digress. So I had the wrong type of sound. The sound I had was a sound from the camera, or from the media mod, not from the microphone that's inside my helmet. I thought, well, that's annoying. I must have not had the microphone plugged in right. But it kind of was. And that got me thinking to something that happened a couple of days earlier. That couple of days earlier, I'd been for a ride out just to get a cup of tea at Hornsey, just down the road, with Graham. So we'd gone for a bit of a ride, stopped at Hornsey, had a nice cuppa and a chat, and then we were heading back to the bikes that were parked just down the way, away from where we were at the cafe. And as I've mentioned before, I no longer use batteries in this camera. I have a lead coming out, and it goes into my pocket where I've got a battery pack, USB power bank thing. And what I do when I stop is I take my helmet off, I put my gloves and my scarf, neck thing, and my wire in the helmet. And then what I'd done is I'd left the helmet on the table where we were having our cup of tea outside, and the cable had fallen down. I hadn't noticed, and as I carried it away, I didn't realise I was dragging the USB cable behind me. And it was getting quite dark, and completely by accident, Graham stepped on the end of the USB cable because he couldn't see it either. So I didn't know it was hanging, he couldn't see it, and I found out it was hanging when suddenly there was a massive yank on my helmet. I thought, what the heck's that? And I thought my helmet was getting grabbed out of my hand or something. And what it was a camera cable, a power cable, that obviously gone tight. And it gave my milliput a test that it failed. It actually yanked so hard on the USB cable that it pulled the camera off the helmet. Now the camera actually stayed on its mount, but the mount came off the milliput. I've stuck it back on now using epoxy resin. It's not going anywhere now, I don't think. The milliput was still very strongly affixed to the helmet. It's just that was the bit that decided to give. So my worry now is, of course, that the sound that was all wrong, apparently, I think, with the microphone plugged in, suggests something not quite right, doesn't it? So if I'm lucky, then you are indeed hearing this loud and clear, and actually it's just a weird thing that after that event I just happened to not plug in the microphone properly. And if I'm unlucky, it's something else. I mean, to be fair, I suppose the microphone cable would have taken a little bit of pressure because the camera was hanging down. I have a thing on the side of the helmet, one of them little discs with a loop in it, and I did have a loop of string, this really soft black cord that I'd looped between the little thing on the side of my helmet and the not the camera itself, because there's nowhere really to connect it, but the camera mount. And I think there I was being very lucky, because I'd noticed it kept coming undone by itself, that piece of string. And a day or two before, I thought, fed up with that coming undone, so I replaced it with cable tie. And I suspect that had I still had that bit of string in, it probably would have undone itself, and then I might have been picking up a camera off the floor rather than having it just hanging down the side of my helmet. Anyway, that's enough waffle from me. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.